Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chomping at the Bit. Now, this episode I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Now, for those of you who might be new to the show, I was born and raised in Boston, so I'm a New England Patriots fan, but I've lived in Atlanta for almost 15 years now. So I will say the Falcons are probably my number two team. I do pay attention to them. I do want to see them do well, but I think this season we've seen a bit of a not necessarily controversy or maybe somewhat of a growing issue throughout this season. You know, they went out and drafted Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. And I feel like a lot of Falcons fans have been wondering when we may see him this year. But now it's to the point where I believe Arthur Smith just said um, that during the bye week, quarterback change is now like on the table. So I think that brings up a couple of questions. One, should we see Desmond Ridder at this point? You know, or is Mariota necessarily to blame for the what 4 out of 5 losses that they've had since they were 4-4 and kind of at the top of the division? Two, should this move have been made earlier in the season? Should we have seen Desmond Ridder before now? And then three, is it too late? Did the Falcons miss an opportunity here? So I'm going to kind of break down those and give you my thoughts with those questions. Um, so for me, you know, Falcons weren't expected to do much this year. If you remember, I did a season preview. I had the Falcons at like 5, 6 wins. They're at 5 right now, so I could still be right. They could pass my predictions. We'll see. But I feel like the Mariota move, making him starter, kind of gave the impression that the Falcons were contending for something, and he was going to be the bridge guy for Ritter. I thought it was an odd way to approach this season because, I mean, Falcons fans can understand the issues that this team has, whether it's defensively, you know, in the secondary outside of AJ Terrell, the tackling issues that still seem to be there. Offensively, the line still isn't great. Running back, you're fine. Cordero Patterson's probably your most dangerous offensive player. Um, Kyle Pitts still hasn't gotten it going. It's his second season now, but he's hurt, so he's gonna miss the rest of the year. Drake London had kind of a slow start to the year, but he's come on and done pretty well. So I don't think Mariota was ever going to get this group to the point where they're, you know, a 10, 11 win team. Um, I guess Super Bowl contender or anything like that. So would the Falcons would have just been in a better place if they just went with Ritter from week 1, maybe like a week 4 type of area, just to give a couple of weeks for him to, I guess, learn the speed of the regular season or something like that. I don't know, but they have a bye week this week. We know a lot of teams when they make quarterback changes like to wait for the bye. Unfortunately, the Falcons have a late bye, so maybe that's kind of played into all of this, where Arthur Smith's plan all along was to use the bye as a way to transition if necessary. I do think it's kind of necessary at this point. You know, they're 5-8. I've made the statement before that with the Bucks struggling this season, the Bucks are only 5-6, and they lead the division by a game at this point, with the Falcons being 5-8. That somebody in this division should have taken advantage of the Bucks' struggles and should be leading this division. And I guess looking at the other 3 teams, whether it's the Falcons, the Panthers, or the Saints, you would probably say the Falcons are a hair better than those teams. Maybe the Saints, I don't know. But however you kind of position those 3, one of them should be leading this division over the Bucks with all of their struggles and mediocre play. We have to say at this point. So now, well, the Falcons sitting at 5-8. They've missed that opportunity because now you're looking at the Falcons as the best they could be 9-8, and I mean, the Bucks play tonight. They play the Saints. That may change the way I feel about this based off of that game Monday Night Football. If the Bucks win that game, they're 6-6. I mean, based off of how these seasons are going, rest of the schedule, the Bucks may end up taking control of this division. I mean, it's only 4 weeks left. Well, 5 weeks. Sorry, 5 weeks left for the Bucks. Four games left for the Falcons. No, what was I talking about? Yeah. So if Arthur Smith or Falcon fans want to look at this as now a lost season, then I think Ridder, sure, you put him out there for 4 weeks and you see what he has going up against. I believe they have games against the Bucks final week of the season. I mean, the Falcons can get to the point where that game means something for the division. Okay, at least you put yourself in a position to control your destiny. So that's one. They have a game against the Ravens. We'll have to see with Lamar Jackson, who hurt his knee Sunday, what the Ravens will look like if it's Lamar Jackson at quarterback, if it's Tyler Huntley. We'll see. Could that be a winnable game now? Maybe. They have a game against the Cardinals. We all know the Cardinals' issues with Kyler Murray, um, the coach. It was on the tip of my tongue, but Kyler Murray has struggled, and Cardinals coach could be fighting for his job at that point. Who knows? And there's another game in there. I honestly can't remember it, but you throw Ridder, see what he has. I mean, if you lose all four, miss the playoffs, fine. But I think you could use these 4 weeks as a way to start the development with him. Maybe he goes out there, looks completely lost, and then maybe now you have quarterback questions going into the draft next year. Or he goes out there, brings a spark. Maybe he leads you to a point where you're on the cusp of the playoffs. At least then you know going into next season with a off season of grooming him to be the starter, an off season of him getting more and more connected with Drake London, or when Kyle Pitts comes back and is ready to practice and all that, Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson. Establish those connections now. That way, maybe you hit the ground running in 2023, 2024, and you're better off for it. So, yes, it's a difficult decision for Arthur Smith to make, I guess, because he obviously has a connection to Mariota. Maybe he doesn't want to end up sitting Mariota, making it seem like it's all Mariota's fault or he hasn't been up to par. I mean, you look at Mariota's numbers, they don't jump off the page. He's, a little over 2,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, quarterback rating of about 88. Meh. But there's been times where he's played well, helped them towards wins. There's been other times where he's kind of taken a back seat and, like Patterson's delivered them wins. So it's an interesting position to be in. To be honest with you, either decision could be the right decision. Finishing off the year with Mariota, maybe he leads you to a couple of wins here in the last 4 games where Ridder might not have done that. And then you start fresh next year. You consider it a quarterback competition. If Ridder shows signs that he's good to go, you tell Mariota, thanks for doing what you did this year. If you want to hang around, be a backup, just in case Ridder falters, cool. Or if he wants to go off and whatever, try to get a starting job somewhere else, fine. And then you get another veteran in here to back up Ridder. So I think at some point we do need to see Ridder. I've talked to some people who aren't fans of Ridder and think he's never going to be a starting quarterback. And I've talked to some who think I mean, I guess I don't really know anybody who thinks he's like a bona fide star in the league, but I think he should at least be given an opportunity. I mean, that's the least you can do for him. At least, show Falcons fans that he's a career backup. And, the draft pick, which wasn't like a number one pick or anything like that, maybe it was a mistake. And then if you go into the draft, maybe draft another guy. At least Falcons fans can kind of understand that. And then create a quarterback competition between those two. Maybe a younger guy pushes Ridder to be better. I don't know. Quarterback position, you look around the NFL. I mean, it's touch and go in a lot of places. So um, it's definitely an interesting debate. So I guess the question for you guys in the comments is, do you want to see Desmond Ridder replace Mariota? So once again, give you my answer. I am leaning yes. Let's see Ridder now. Let's see what he has, because I honestly don't see this season really going anywhere. So get rid of the 4 games, get some of those, inconsistencies and the jitters out of him now, and you may be better off for it next season, where hopefully Pitts comes back healthier and can be more productive. Maybe you can draft some pieces or find some free agents to help the offensive line, get some defensive pieces, and who knows? Maybe Ritter's the guy who can take you for the next couple of years or so and build something in Atlanta. So that's my thoughts, but you guys let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the episode, greatly appreciate that. If you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Uh, Leave a review, all that good stuff. If you didn't like it, you can hit the down arrow and leave a comment as to why you don't like it and what you'd like to see me change. I, can fully understand that as well. So, thanks again. And as I always say, be safe out there. God bless. And I'll catch you on the next episode. All right. Enjoy your day.